and give thanks. Let me just, how do I mark that I've got that? Oh, there we go. Anyway, 'tis the season to be grateful. And we hear a lot about, people saying, write down a couple things you're thankful for. I want to start out this morning with a simple definition. Can anybody, Kristen, Kelly, any of you guys offer up what you think, how we would define gratitude? You can just shout it out.
This is Caroline. Just saying thankful for things that are happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good or bad.
Yeah. You know what, Caroline? That's a really good point. We're going to get to that as we go through cultivating gratitude. So yes, gratitude is actually the affirmation of goodness, right? It's recognizing the good in our life. And like I like to tell my kids, it's really looking for the good in our life too. So looking for it and recognizing it. I know I'm always thankful for my girlfriends. So I put a picture up of two girls hugging because life, we need good girlfriends. But what I want to point out today, and Dr. Peggy, who was with us last year, actually a few months ago, mentioned that gratitude is not just a feeling that happens to us, it's actually an activity in the brain. And psychologists today and neuroscience are finding that gratitude has a positive impact on our brain and actually helps us rewire our brain. And the best is the fact that gratitude is available to all of us. It is a free commodity, so to speak, right? It is something that's free and accessible to all of us in the world. And it doesn't really take up much more time in our day. It just can be something that's incorporated into our everyday activities. So why do we cultivate gratitude? Again, it's because people have, psychologists have found that people who practice and cultivate gratitude feel more alive. They express that they experience a sense of joy more often in life. They actually sleep better, which we'll get to. They express more kindness. So when we take the time to be thankful and cultivate a feeling of gratitude, we're kinder and more compassionate to people. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just by simply being grateful for what we notice around us, we make the world more peaceful. That's fantastic. And studies also show, this is fantastic coming into the winter season with potential of flu and COVID still lingering, we have stronger immune systems, right? Because that gratitude releases different hormones in our brain. So it's phenomenal. It's really an interesting dynamic. These are the 4 stages of gratitude. And it's a really simple drawing. I'm sorry, the 3 stages of gratitude. It's a simple drawing. The first stage is acknowledging how you feel. Recognize, become more aware of feeling thankful, and take just a moment to register that sense of awareness. We often hear that word mindful. Become mindful of how you feel when you're thankful. Notice that, acknowledge it. Then recognize the source of it. If it's your family member, if it's, a higher source, if you have a sense of spirituality. I know that, I walked outside this morning and I was greeted by these beautiful yellow autumn leaves. And I just felt like, the gasping of, not gasping, but the breath of fresh air. I just said, thank you, God, right? So whatever that higher spiritual sense is for you, or if it's a family member, or recognizing the source of a cozy blanket and the warmth it provides, recognize the source of where that thankfulness is coming from. And lastly, share your appreciation. So say thank you out loud to, Mother Nature, or say thank you to your family member for bringing you a cup of tea, or just say thank you out loud just to the universe for your safe home, right? But express that sense of appreciation. Those are the 3 stages of gratitude. Any questions about that? or definition of gratitude, what we've covered so far? We're good?
Hi, yes, Amy, this is
Yeah, Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
Hi. How do you suggest practicing gratitude when some of us are facing racism, misogyny, sexism, and several other calamities?
Okay, excellent point, Kelly. Um, I'm going to answer that in just a couple minutes, and I think it's real, as we all know. Racism, sexism, misogyny, it's real. So I have a thought regarding that. Do you mind? I'm just going to get to that in just a couple minutes.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, great, excellent. I'm so thankful you asked. Okay, so here, in the last time that we met with Dr. Peggy, who is known as the gratitude psychologist. Her website is on the bottom of the screen, and she recommended 5 daily ways that we can cultivate gratitude, and it takes less than 5 minutes a day. And what I want to start by saying is that um, the first way is to say thank you out loud when you get out of bed, before you get out of bed, as you're brushing your teeth, whatever it is. It sounds, again, simple, but I do it. I do it. And I will tell you, I've been practicing gratitude for a couple of decades, in good times and bad times, Kelly, facing all kinds of issues. And it is really helpful. So the first thing to do is say thank you, right? It doesn't take any extra time. It just takes some thought. And the reason they say this is helpful, again, is based on scientific research. And they find that when you prime your brain, and the actual part of your brain, it's known as the reticular activating system. And when we prime that by saying thank you and getting out of bed, it starts to help us focus on the good things in life, right? Because when we say thank you to somebody for something, it's for something good, not something crappy, right? Which leads us to the second exercise and the second way to cultivate gratitude on a daily basis. And that's to set our intentions. And again, so I'll wake up in bed and I'll say thank you. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for a good night's sleep, or just thank you for giving me an opportunity to make a difference today in the world, right? Whatever it might be, or just thank you. And then as I'm brushing my teeth, again, no extra time or putting on a little makeup, I will set my intentions for the morning. Okay. And again, research shows that when we set intentions, again, we're activating that part of the brain known as the reticular activating system. And this part of the brain, what it actually does is it sorts through everything that's coming at us during the day, right? And let's face it, in this day and age of social media, we have millions of pieces of information that are inundating us and fighting for our attention. But when we prime our brains and set intentions, whether it's to be thankful for our family, to be thankful for a difficult situation, to be thankful for the grace that's offered to us in a difficult situation, for the strength, thank you for whatever it might be, our opportunity to go into work, our opportunity to work, whatever it might be, when we focus on those intentions, and just to set 2 or 3 in a day, the research proves that our mind then highlights those good things. So as it's sifting through all of this information coming at us, we've set up our brains to focus on the more positive stories, the more positive information. It's not to say we have our head in the sand. We absolutely are aware of difficult situations such as racism, sexism, monogynism, all the isms, right? But we are aware of what's going on in the world, floods, climate change, all that. But we can also focus on the positive things. So try doing that as you brush your teeth or putting on your makeup. And you'll notice you'll be more apt to celebrate the good things. Now, the number 3 is where you might end up actually needing to take a couple minutes out of your day to cultivate gratitude, to set aside a couple minutes. And it can be as easy as sending someone a text, saying, hey, Lorraine, you're doing a fantastic job with all of your work for Dress for Success, right? It can be as simple as saying, hey, mom, good morning. I love you. Sending your cousin, hey, I hope all is going well with your healing. Whatever it might be, thank you for sending me a present for my birthday. Whatever it might be, you can text them, you can email, you can handwrite a note and a letter. I do that with my mother-in-law, especially that generation. They really appreciate handwritten letters. I do that with people my age and even younger sometimes, right? But it doesn't need to take a lot of time. I do it with my husband. I've been trying to do it more to be grateful and thankful for my husband. I try to leave him a post-it note every so often just to say, hey, thanks for working 12, 13 hours a day to help support our family. I know we're all in this together, right? So that's something you can do easily within a couple of minutes. I tell my girls, send grandma a text or an email. It takes only a couple of minutes to fill someone's day and to thank them for being who they are. Now, number 4 leads us to Kelly's question. Use unwanted feelings or situations, I would say, as a trigger to practice gratitude. Now, what does that really mean? Right? So we're in a difficult situation. You know, I have been sexually harassed at work. Okay. This was decades ago. If I was trying to cultivate gratitude in that moment, I would think, how can this uncomfortable situation, right? I've experienced more, well, anyway, I'll stick with this example. How can I use this uncomfortable situation to cultivate gratitude right now, right? I can use it to help me learn how to speak my mind, to set healthy boundaries, to speak up for myself, to seek the help that I need with other coworkers or a boss in the situation. And I can be thankful that I have the ability to be resourceful, to look to other people, to listen to podcasts about sexism, to reach out, especially with the world today. Thankfully, we have so many resources. It can be as simple as, you have an unwanted feeling of negativity. We all go down that rabbit hole, right? And we think, I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. You can stop and say, hey, I'm going to stop myself right here and think, how can this feeling help me cultivate gratitude? You know what? I'm going to stop being negative and I'm going to focus on 3 things around me that I can do well. Thank you, God, for giving me the ability to get out of bed or brush my teeth. Whatever simple, it can be simple things, especially when we're not feeling great. Thank you for giving me the ability to voice my opinion, to connect with others. And again, that reworks the wiring in our brain, which, I didn't mention. When we cultivate gratitude, because I meant to mention this before when I said gratitude is an activity in our brain, right? It affects our brain function on a chemical level basis. What it does is it releases dopamine and serotonin, which are the 2 key neurotransmitters that are responsible for our emotions, right? They're the feel-good chemicals, and they enhance our mood immediately. So when we're in a situation that we're feeling vulnerable, we can turn it around one of the ways we can turn it around is we can focus on what we're grateful for in that situation, even if it's what we can learn from the situation, right? And that will help us by triggering those chemicals, the dopamine and serotonin. That'll help us feel literally happier from the inside out. Okay. Kelly, what do you think about that? Can you give us an example of a situation, and maybe you don't want to, maybe you're not comfortable, but whatever the situation is, what do you think about using unwanted feelings and situations to